can do your thing.
I'm gonna have to put it on when
They're
it's.
never little.
Mhm.
I don't think I've ever seen. Well, I guess I have, maybe. No, more the cans that are tiny. That's really tiny.
Did you want to do a test or no?
No, I'm not gonna bother. It doesn't work. We'll suck it up.
Where are we going?
Yep.
Chime in.
She already hit it.
Oh,
Okay, hang on. Let's.
Ready?
boy.
Wasn't as good as last time.
You don't think so? I've noticed if I slow her down a bit, you know, it comes through better. But this is the
Welcome
top
to
40.
our top 40 timeline, and
we
once
go.
again this week, welcome back everybody. Big Daddy Russ Horton. We got Leah, myself, Lee, and of course Mandy's helping us out with the production end of it. And yeah, this is our fun little trivia show we love doing, and we're brought to you by our Air Radio Network.
And
So,
Radio GTA this week,
Absolutely.
Canada's Mix, and we've got we're very excited about our new afternoon guy coming in, Magic Matt Craig from New York City. He's
Right
going to be
on.
doing 2 to 6.
welcome aboard,
And
Matt.
Lee is going more into our social media news because we got big stuff coming up.
Lots
And,
of big stuff coming up.
And Leah, of course, is on our local radio. But Radio GTA, a lot of fun. I'm on in the morning, and we've got Magic Matt Craig coming in, and we've got the music man James Rogers and Bill Smith, who's a great musicologist. And every weekend we have a commercial free from noon to 6 with Bill Smith's music mix from music from today back to the 80s, but a lot of newer stuff. And,
better than being an alcoholic.
That's right.
Be
Absolutely.
a musicaholic.
Musicologist. Musicologist.
Guys
And
like
he's
him,
been around, Bill's been
Yeah.
around for a while.
Guys like him and Alan Cross.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
I could sit and listen to Alan for hours, man.
Yeah. Oh, Alan's great. Alan is the Norman B of this decade.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way of
without
putting that, yeah.
I've been following Alan Cross for
What is it
years.
about
And as a
Alan's?
matter of fact, he was asking me the other day, why do you keep
Alan,
following me everywhere? That's I'm going, well, just following you,
No, but
Alan
It's-
Alan
'cause it's
Reed,
a-
Alan
'cause it's a
Cross,
fine-
Alan.
Cross.
It's all Alans.
Oh, Alan's,
because it's
yeah.
a fine line between stalking and following.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
you got to be careful there.
It's like when Twitter first came out. It's like, you're going to follow me on Twitter? It's like, where are you going to go?
Yeah. Where are you
I'll
going?
follow you. I don't know where you're going, though.
You going to have the camera on so I can follow you?
Our big story this
Yeah,
week
this
is
is,
her.
this is a funny one. I even saw the
Ow.
video for this one, eh? Fed up by an enormous pothole in his Los Angeles neighborhood, Arnold Schwarzenegger picked up a shovel and filled it in himself. The actor and former California governor tweeted in a video Tuesday of him and a helper using packaged concrete to repair the road in the Brentwood area. Today, after the whole neighborhood has been upset about this giant pothole that's been screwing up cars and bicycles for weeks, I went out with my team and fixed it, he wrote on Twitter. I always say, let's not complain, let's do something about it. Well, here you go. And our neighbor rolled down. Yeah, a neighbor rolled down her window. She says, "Oh, thank you." Like you say, there is videos all over the place about it. You're welcome, said Schwarzenegger, decked out work boots, leather jacket, and shades reminiscent of his role in Terminator.
Filling in a pothole.
This, I tell you, you have to do it yourself. This is crazy. For 3 weeks, I've been waiting for this hole to be closed, he said. So he said, piss on it, I'm doing it myself.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Yeah,
I don't blame him. I mean, but he did look like Terminator with those sunglasses.
Oh, yeah.
The new pothole Terminator.
That- there you go.
Schwarzenegger. That's Terminator
Pothole
64, the pothole Terminator. And that's coming out soon.
Yeah.
Got some memes from hell. This one is from David Carr up in Owen Sound, Ontario. Cauliflower tastes like someone ate a dozen hard-boiled eggs. Waited an hour. Farted into the dirt, then tended that fart dirt lovingly for 2 months until it grew into a fart flower. Harvested it on the hottest, ripest day of the year, boiled it for 13 hours, and then tried to fool people into thinking it tastes just like mashed potatoes. Doesn't work that way.
No.
And here's another meme from
stinks.
hell. Instead of a condom, I carry a moist towelette in my wallet. I run into chicken wings more often than sex. I thought that was a good one.
There's a lot of truth to that.
Excuse me, let me wipe myself here.
Sad part is you probably go into my backpack and there's couple moist towelettes in there.
Well, there you go. You're at that age, right?
Okay,
Lee?
we don't need to get into that one, okay? I don't want that image.
All right, and we have Leah
gonna
with the
clean my
trivia. She's kicking off the trivia this week.
So, a little tidbit here. Cher's first concert was Elvis Presley when she was only 11 years old.
I'm old sugar.
And I'll do Bob Dylan.
Hunka hunka burning love.
Bob Dylan was quoted, "I consider myself a poet first and a musician second. I live like a poet and I will die like a poet."
Well, his lyrics were amazing.
Of course.
Well, yeah.
And
Really, that
he wasn't known as a singer, I'll tell you.
poetry was the start of music.
That's right.
It was, you think back to Bach and Mozart and everything, there was no lyric to any of that music.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until later on that somebody went, oh, you can put the two together and, you know.
People don't realize how short Bob Dylan is. He's so
God, yeah.
small you have to pick him up just to say hello to him. You know, this guy's what, 4'11" or 5'1" or something?
5'1",
I think it was 5'1".
5'1", I believe.
But,
Yeah, he's a really tiny guy. So that was like when I met Tom Cruise.
He's another one.
Come up to about there on me.
yeah,
I was stunned.
Yeah.
it's amazing.
I was like,
you think these
hey,
people
little boy.
Henry VIII would have been 4'8".
Yeah.
Well, that's what he was, 4'8".
Yeah.
But in the days he lived, he was a tall, big fella.
Well,
now
but
we'd be smacking him on the head saying,
Yeah.
"Get out of the way."
Yeah.
I mean,
You're
little
grounded.
Henry running around,
You're grounded.
with
Wouldn't
his
do that
tights
back
on.
then.
And he wouldn't be very happy, would he?
Well,
you telling me-
he wasn't anyway.
He was very upset with all of his wives there. 1963, the Rolling Stones played at the Crawdaddy Club in Richmond, England. All four members of the Beatles were in the audience, as a matter of fact. The name of the club derived from Bo Diddley's 1960 song, "Doing the Crawdaddy," which the Rolling Stones regularly performed at as part of their set. In turn, the club would inspire the name of the American music magazine, Crawdaddy. So that's how Crawdaddy got its name.
I love that name.
I'll do one more. In 1969, this week, the recording of the Ballad of John and Yoko took place with just two Beatles. There's only two Beatles on that song. That was Paul McCartney and John Lennon. Paul played bass, drums, and piano with John on guitar and lead vocals. And the song was banned from many radio stations as being blasphemous. On some stations, the word Christ was edited in backwards to avoid the ban. It's incredible how ridiculously stupid that sounds today.
Exactly. That's a great way of putting
And
that.
the BBC are the top of the list.
Oh,
you know
God,
what I
yeah.
mean?
They're right up there.
Oh,
man.
100%.
Like when Monster
They banned
Mash-
everything.
Yeah.
When Monster Mash came out in 1962 or 62, I think it was.
I think it was. Sounds
or
right.
60, well, something like
I know
early
it's early
60s
60s,
anyway.
but yeah.
When it first came out, the BBC banned it. It was frightening all the young children. Give me a break. So Monster Mash was a hit in England in 1973 all over again when I was a kid growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
BBC finally.
Oh yeah,
did-
Everybody
Halloween
knows
became the big Monster Mash song.
Everybody knows that song.
Oh yeah.
1973, Led Zeppelin started a 2-week run at #1 on the UK album chart with Houses of the Holy, also a #1 in the US. The young girl featured on the cover of the album climbing naked up Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland is Samantha Gates, who was 6 years old at the time of the photo shoot.
You should see the picture too. There's a picture of her that I put up when I created
yeah,
this.
I wouldn't mind actually checking that
So
out.
yeah,
'cause
check it out on our page and you'll see the photo.
It's, well, you think of that, different photos. The baby on the front of the Van Halen album with the cigarette nut was actually a real baby. They just superimposed the cigarette into his hand or whatever. But, and the one kid that from Nirvana.
Oh, yeah,
he
that
was
was-
trying to sue.
That's what I was thinking was
He was
Nirvana.
trying to sue, right? I'm like, are you kidding me, dude? You got paid. You're upset? Go talk to your mom who allowed it to happen.
Yeah,
So,
but they're showing my winkle
yeah,
in the water. Well,
guaranteed shrinkage there.
oh, absolutely. Just ask George Costanza.
Costanza.
He'll tell you all about that.
Yeah.
So 2013, Justin Bieber caused outrage after writing a message in a guest book at the Anne Frank Museum, which stated he hoped the Holocaust victim would have been a fan. The 19-year-old wrote, "Truly inspiring to be able to come here. Anne was a great girl. Hopefully she would have been a believer
Yeah.
It provoked fierce online criticism of the Canadian singer who was in Amsterdam as part of a tour. I'm having problems talking today. Is it the heat?
Slow down.
I think it's the heat.
It's just
Slow down.
It's the heat.
it's just a young kid making a mistake. He didn't
Oh, you
mean
made quite a
anything
few.
You know,
But
that's
he-
okay. He was a
he was
kid
ni-
growing
he was
up in that realm of.
And thank God he doesn't know what the Holocaust felt like. But I don't think he meant anything by that. I think he
No,
was
he
trying
was
to.
young.
He's backed out of the spotlight. He's mellowed out.
He's a good kid. He's a kid.
I mean, how old was he
Kid.
when he got started? 15?
Yeah. Imagine having that much spotlight on you
No.
when you're 15.
Give him
you
a
know?
break.
A kid from
Jesus.
Stratford,
I wouldn't want it now.
Ontario.
No.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want it now.
I get that. I'm
a
always
few of
having
them
problems
that
with
did
women mobbing me at the mall. It's just, you get sick of it after a while. David Crosby, April 13th, 1982, is busted for freebasing cocaine, leading to a downward spiral that winds through the Dallas County Jail. Crosby, down on his luck, is in need of cash to finance his rampaging cocaine habit. Is scheduled to play a show at the Dallas nightclub Cardi's when police raid the place and catch him backstage blatantly freebasing cocaine. The police report states that he has a propane tank in one hand and a brown bottle in the other. Dead giveaway. Police also find a .45 caliber semi-automatic pistol that he had been carrying ever since John Lennon was shot. I'm not going to go into that because it's a big, and we know, it's a long story, but that's, addiction is a bad thing.
Oh,
So
God,
just
yeah.
maybe just do the last two lines.
You go ahead. You
So on
take
March
over.
6, 1986, he is sent to state prison in Huntsville, Texas, where he writes songs and gets sober. On August the 8th, he gets out on parole after getting married in May 1987. He sends a note to the judge who sentenced him, thanking him for saving his life and letting him know that he wouldn't be back to his courthouse.
Great story.
So there was a lot of incidences in between the beginning and the end, but
Oh,
that
I
was
know.
the end result.
The gist of the whole story
Yeah.
too, as a matter, to a point, because like Big Daddy said, the fact of addiction that happened in that era with musicians and movie stars and actors, and it was so rampant. Like the Betty Ford Clinic, was making millions and millions and millions
Can
of
you
dollars.
imagine Ozzy Osbourne, Keith Moon, David Crosby all at the same party?
Yeah.
That'd
Jim
be a
Morrison?
wild party, wouldn't it? Jim Morrison, Janis Joplin would drop by, Jimi Hendrix would be in
Oh,
later.
yeah.
That just
Hey, what hell of a party
All of
that
them
would be,
together?
wouldn't it?
God, and especially like
Phew.
you say, back in that heyday of between really the mid '60s to the mid '80s, drugs and alcohol situation. Look at Aerosmith. Look at Kiss was one of the
Keith
only,
Richards.
Kiss was one of the only bands that didn't. Like Gene Simmons has never drank. He's never done drugs. Even Paul Stanley says, "I haven't drank in 45 years." Like
I don't drink. You know that. I don't drink at all.
Yeah.
No, I don't either.
I'm not saying it's. I don't like the taste of beer.
Yeah.
No,
I'm not
I haven't
trying
either.
I'm not 25 trying to get lucky in the bar anymore.
Yeah. That too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Well, that's even me. I didn't start drinking until I was in my late 20s when I started drinking.
Oh, I can't
didn't-
say that. I can't say that. With the
Okay.
high school right over here, I can remember.
I'm not saying
us getting
Don't say I
together,
didn't
but
get into other things,
but-
but
there's nothing
Yeah.
like a cold beer though on a hot day.
Sure.
I must admit that.
never been a beer drinker. I had
But
drank
I'd
my
sooner
share
have a
back then.
Freshie.
It was
Freshie.
it was almost
Remember
like
Freshie?
free compared to anything else.
Remember Freshie?
I still
When we were
buy it.
kids, the jugs.
Actually, it's the
Do they
Kool-Aid.
still
You
have
can't.
it?
No, the Freshie. I don't know what happened with that. Anyways,
Freshie.
Kool-Aid is what we have at home now. My son loves it.
The song with the most versions in the U.S. Hot 100 is Unchained Melody, believe it or not, which charted with 9 different performers: Les Baxter, Al Hibbler, the Righteous Brothers, Roy Hamilton, June Valley, Vito and the Salutations, and the Sweet Inspirations, and Heart recorded the song as well.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of, and I'll do one more before I hand it over to Leah. Sinead O'Connor's first job was a French-made kissogram.
And there's a picture of that too, if you want to see it. How she dressed.
She's a cute gal.
Oh, definitely, most definitely.
But she had hair.
When she had hair, yeah.
Yeah. So again, April 13th, 1967, Frank and Nancy Sinatra became the first daughter and father duo to score a #1 single on the UK charts with their duet, Something Stupid. Ozzy and Kelly Osbourne repeated the feat in 2003 with a rendition of Black Sabbath Changes.
Bit of a difference in genres there,
Just a little bit
I
there.
think.
I'll
That's
do
a
these
good
next
song.
couple two here. Let's see if I can shorten up the other one too, because it's going to be a long one. The first sellout, I didn't know this though. First sellout at Montreal Forum was Led Zeppelin.
It wouldn't have been.
1970.
It wouldn't have been the Canadians.
No, exactly.
My God,
They can't even sell the place out.
That's right.
They can stink the place out, but they can't sell the place out.
Well,
Back
what do you
then
think
they
with-
weren't stinking the place out.
What do
No,
you
back
think
then
with
they were
Robert?
killer.
1970.
Robert leading, of course.
Yeah, they were a pretty tough team back then, I guess. Yeah.
They were. Led Zeppelin, eh? Wow.
1973, the Wailers, led by Bob Marley, released their fifth studio album, Catch Fire, or Catch a Fire, the first album on their new label, Island Records. It makes Marley and the Wailers international recording stars and brings reggae music to the forefront. The motivation for the album is desperation. It's not desperation for fame. The band was stranded in England. Marley and his bandmates Peter Tosh and Lee Perry were left there after their tour with fellow reggae singer Johnny Nash came to an abrupt halt. Nash and co-founder Joe Da Records, Danny Sims, bolted back to the U.S. after getting word that sales of their 72 hit I Can See Clearly Now had begun to drop. With no money for the airfare back to Kingston, Marley visits Chris Blackwell at his London music studio. And Blackwell was born in England but grew up in Jamaica and already knew about the Wailers. After hearing about Marley's dilemma, he fronts the band £8,000 under the condition they record an album for his Island label. And Blackwell reworks the band's sound, adds background vocals, creates the reggae soul sound that becomes its hallmark of the Wailers. The sixth track on the album, Stir It Up, is an ode that Marley had written for his wife Rita in 1967. Nash recorded the song the previous year, taking it to number 12 in America and number 13 in the UK. The memorable original album cover is designed to look like a giant Zippo lighter. Opening the cover reveals the inner workings of the lighter, complete with a blazing wick, and the cover is scrapped after the first 20,000 printings due to most concerned, and is replaced by something less subtle, a photo of Marley puffing on a joint.
It's quite a story.
The best way I'd want to see him.
Can't wait to see him.
Bob Marley was such a mellow guy, you know.
God,
Somebody
yeah.
asked Bob Marley if he was rich once, and he said, "What do you mean rich? What is rich?" And he said, "You know, do you have possessions and houses?" He said, "That's not rich." He
No.
said, "I have peace of mind." He said, "Yes, I'm rich. I have peace of mind with everything."
Yeah.
Hendrix was like that too, though.
Oh yeah.
Hendrix was very much the
much so.
Caribbean
I would
attitude,
rather
even though
look at-
he
Look
wasn't
at
really
Snoop Dogg
Caribbean,
too.
but
It's that you know.
The
that,
island.
That mentality of I'm good with life. I'm good.
And I'm sorry, weed comes into it. It puts you in that frame of
Sure it
mind
does.
where it's like.
And it doesn't have to be smoked. This is the thing that you get people that get on the bandwagon. Oh, you got to smoke. No, try an edible, man. They do this. It does the same
You
thing.
put two guys in a room together with a bottle of liquor, and they're going to
Kill each
beat
other.
the shit out of each other. You put two guys in a room with a joint, and they're going to order a pizza. Remember that. There's a big
it's always
difference
been
there.
that way.
Big difference between the
Yeah.
two. And do you want me to do the next ones here? It is
your
my
turn.
turn, isn't it?
Yeah,
In
1996.
1994,
96.
lobbyists.
96.
Was it? Oh, I missed one. All right. Oh, 1996, seconds before their first Saturday Night Live performance, Rage Against the Machine's roadies placed upside-down American flags on their amplifiers, and the band sanctioned protests of the American political system. Billionaire candidate Steve Forbes is hosting the show. The Saturday Night Live crew quickly tears them down, and the band is booted from the building without a second song. That's wrong. You shouldn't be doing that.
You're out.
I mean, you can't
What happened
be
to
turning.
freedom of speech?
That's right. But you know what? Turning your country's flag up, disrespecting the flag is something else. And
That's not even just the politicians. That's country.
I
Yeah.
mean, if anybody
Right, so
in front of me
I
stood
can
on
kinda
my
see it.
flag, the Canadian flag,
But they didn't have
or
to
the
kick them out. They
British
could have
flag,
just pulled the flags down.
Yeah, I know, but still.
Yeah, they're making a point.
Yeah.
And they
Back
made
then,
it.
you
They
gotta
made
remember
it.
the
They got,
times,
and they even
right?
got their one song.
Yeah.
They even got their one song. There
No,
you go.
they made their point. That's all that mattered to them.
In 19 oh, you go ahead. That's all right.
In 1994, lobbying efforts initiated by psychiatrist Don Sciali led the International Astronomical Union's Minor Planet Center to name an asteroid in Frank Zappa's honor, 3834 Zappa Frank. The asteroid has been discovered in 1980 by Czechoslovakian astronomer Ladislav Brozek.
I wonder if he listened to Frank Zappa's stuff.
You never know.
Because that was pretty obscure stuff that guy wrote, man.
Oh yeah, Zappa
God,
was
like-
crazy. I loved it.
Like I call...
He didn't like John Lennon at all, or the Beatles.
He didn't like a lot of people.
because he said that they stole some of his stuff. I remember seeing.
Yeah, I
an
remember
interview
seeing
with
an
him.
interview about that.
Very
That's right, you're right.
opinionated.
I do remember hearing about that.
And he said, I'm not a big fan of the Beatles because blah, blah, blah. And there's a lot of stuff you have to read into that you don't know about, but certainly an amazing musician and somebody that helped bend the culture of the 70s
God,
and the
yeah.
60s, right?
Yeah, you
Frank's,
know, like-
Joe's Garage, man.
Like I remember David Bowie talking about him, saying, there was a lot of stuff, when he got into the album Blue Jean and stuff like that, that Frank Zappa was the influence to that. It was so. And you think somebody like David Bowie, really, one of the greatest musicians out there, and
I remember just hearing when he named his kids, Moon Unit,
yeah,
Yeah.
Dweezil.
Dweezil. So I mean, for me, even that in
like
itself
totally
was almost a
Valley
gimmick
Girl.
to get you tuned in because you, God, listen to this guy. What the hell is that?
A
cool.
couple little tidbits here. Peter Townsend's first concert was his dad's band, the Squadronaires. And in 1996, Tom Jones enters a hospital to have his tonsils removed, though some who claim to have seen his tonsils since claim his real visit was for a nose job.
It was a nose job in 1966. Oh my God. 1967, Greyhound begins offering tours of the Haight-Ashbury district of San Francisco, billing it as Hippie Land.
And it had a great bus.
Isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
Have you seen it?
No.
It's
no.
on. It's I got that on. That
Right on.
photo.
Oh yes, I
too.
did see it. Yes.
Kind of cool.
And today that would be a bunch of condos, probably. Yeah. More likely the Haight-Ashbury area. I wonder what Haight-Ashbury looks like now. Probably
look it up.
changed. In 1968, the outspoken Frank Zappa performs at a dinner, speaking of Frank, for the National Academy of Recording Artists and Scientists, who are the people who give us the Grammys. And Zappa says the event is a load of pompous hokum and tells
There
the
he
audience,
is.
all year long, you people have manufactured this crap. Now, for one night, you're going to have to listen to it. He wasn't a big fan of the establishment.
No,
was he?
not at all. Like
Very opinionated on
very,
everything.
But he was so cut and dry. You never saw him get mad.
No.
He just didn't like a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff.
1981, Rush are guests at Kennedy Space Center to witness the first space shuttle launch, which inspires their song, Countdown.
There you go.
And in 2015, Florence Welch of Florence and the Machine breaks her foot leaping off the stage at Coachella. For the next several weeks, she sits during performances per her doctor's orders.
I would imagine so. You can't
Yeah,
be
I
hopping
remember
around
Dave
on
Grohl
stage.
doing that right in the middle of the concert too. He's coming
heard
out
about
with his
that.
guitar, and he just kept walking, and it was 18 feet.
Oh, geez.
Like it was a fucking good drop. It was
Oh.
like stepping off a second floor balcony, and he
That's a
snaps
mean
his
drop,
leg.
man.
He gets up, keeps playing. They wheel him off. They cast him up, bring him back out. He finishes the show. Okay. Speaking of Dave Grohl,
Here we
Foo
go.
Fighters drummer Taylor Hawkins was touring drummer for Alanis Morissette on her Jagged Little Pill tour, and Cannot tour as well, and appeared in the videos You Ought to Know and You Learn. And a very sad day when he passed away. That was
Oh, yeah, still is.
that
Still is.
guy was so talented, man. It was just incredible to watch him up on stage, and the energy this guy had was insane. It was like watching Keith Moon.
And he was well loved by
Oh,
all musicians, and
everybody
everybody
loved
loved Taylor. Oh my God,
The,
it was
the
beautiful.
tribute show they did for him, the amount of musicians that came out was insane. They were turning musicians away because otherwise it was going to turn into like a 2 or 3 day ordeal, and it was brutal.
In 1984, Boy George was quoted as saying, "People think David Bowie gave me all my dresses, but he didn't. I get all my dresses from Edna Everidge." And a little bit of history and trivia here. 1946, Bob Harris, radio presenter and host of BBC Two's music show The Old Grey Whistle Test, is born in Northampton, England. And in 1952, Singin' in the Rain, starring Gene Kelly, Donald O'Connor, and newcomer Debbie Reynolds, is released in the U.S. but barely makes a splash.
That's Jamie Lee Curtis's mother.
Yeah.
Yes. 1978, Liberace gives a concert for the Byrds on The Muppet Show, playing classical pieces and the 1925 song 5'2", Eyes of Blue. Sam the Eagle disapproves.
Well, I guess you would. Yeah.
That's not good. When Sam disapproves, that's not good. That's not good.
Tell you, we were talking about edibles a few minutes ago. Me and Mel did that one night. We had a couple edibles. We put on the Muppet Show.
Oh, good Lord.
We laughed our asses off for hours, man. It was priceless. I couldn't, because you can get it on our video on demand, so it's commercial free.
Let me tell you something. If
And
you
it's
want,
just episode after episode after episode. We binged the Muppet Show.
if you understand what Fozzie Bears stand, you're right in the groove.
Yeah.
baby.
I always did call you animals, so
Oh,
I guess
yeah.
we're running right in tune here. So, okay,
no.
so 2002, Aretha Franklin and 7 other Motown stars are honored with street names in Detroit's new low-income housing project.
And 2 days later, they were all stolen.
That's right.
That's what happened. There's been several songs by actors and musicians, and that's the problem. And they always try to put them like 20 feet in the air because they're hoping nobody gets them.
I'm telling you, man, the amount of times I've been down in that area in Detroit, we used to have to deliver medical equipment.
Right.
And the fear is just insane. And it was me and this other big, huge white guy, blonde. We stuck out like a sore thumb. Even had cops coming up to us going, "What are you doing?"
What are you,
We're
nuts?
stopping at the red light. He goes, "You don't stop at red lights. You just slow down and roll
You're
your
sticking
ass
out like a
through."
sore
Yeah.
thumb.
And this wasn't at night. This was in the daytime. So, yeah, Detroit's scary.
In 1989, Kate Bush was quoted as saying, "Videos are so cliched and narcissistic. Most of them I've done make me cringe." And The Edge's U2, his first record, was A Hard Day's Night by the Beatles. And a little bit of history here. 1868, Johann Brahms, the German Requiem, is premiered in Bremen Cathedral as part of the Good Friday Remembrance, and I do remember that very well.
Yeah, it was
Back
on
in,
Was this
Channel
a previous
2.
life?
1868.
That's
on-
a previous life?
Yes.
It was on Channel 2.
I get it then.
It was on, yeah, it was before Channel 2 went on the air, I think.
Just a little bit. Okay then. 1956, Leo Fender patents the successor to his popular Telecaster, model of the electric guitar, this time called the Stratocaster.
Yeah.
And in 1956, performing to an all-white audience at a segregated show in Birmingham, Alabama, Nat King Cole is attacked by 4 members of the Ku Klux Klan who rushed the stage to assault him. Cole suffers a back injury and is treated at the hospital, but returns that night to play his second show, this time to an all-black audience. The attackers received the maximum sentence of 180 days in jail.
That's sad.
That's
right there,
just,
too.
Oh, you
It's
know, it
about
ain't Christmas.
56.
It ain't Christmas until Nat King Cole sings the Christmas song.
Oh, yeah,
God,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
1970, at one of the band's last concert in Boston, Doors frontman and Jim Morrison asks the audience if they'd like to see something of his that rhymes with sock.
He's so bad for that.
And then, more bluntly, screams, "Would you like to see my genitals? Genitals!" The power in the stadium is switched off, and the keyboardist Ray Manzarek pulls the singer, already facing similar charges from a Miami gig. He drags him off the stage. So.
And I remember both incidences.
That's one of the biggest stories in rock history. That one, when he actually whipped it out.
Oh my
Yeah.
God!
But,
And he actually did. That's the scary
that's it,
thing.
too.
Can you imagine the quick reaction? Oh,
Yeah.
shut it off. He's going to flash.
Ray wasn't having it. It wasn't
No.
happening on his stage again.
No, that created a lot of problems between him and Ray.
1976, Stevie Wonder is featured in an ad in Downbeat magazine endorsing the Mutron 3 effects pedal, which uses synthesizer envelopes to create a wah effect for guitar. Wonder had used the pedal on his 1973 smash Higher Ground. That's what would give that Higher Ground that sound, right?
That chug.
Chug. I'll do this one.
Yeah.
Actress and singer Doris Day is born Doris Mary Ann Kappelhoff. That's why she was called Doris Day, in Cincinnati, Ohio. She turns to singing when a car accident wrecks her dreams of becoming a professional dancer. Doris gets her big break in 1939 as a singer with Les Brown and his Band of Renown, and attracts fans with songs like My Dreams Are Getting Better All the Time, and her first #1 hit, Sentimental Journey. I was always in love with Doris Day. I love Doris Day. Do you remember that show she was in? She had her own TV show back in the 60s.
Vaguely. I remember my mom watching it.
Yeah. I always had a crush on Doris Day.
Whatever will be, will be.
Oh my
Anyways.
God.
You're taking
me. Where's my cheese whiz sandwich and the shag rug I'm supposed to lay on to watch TV and change the channel like this?
No, yeah, that's when you have kids.
Yeah.
Kids are your remote.
Yeah.
You didn't have a remote back then. It was, get up. Can you go change that to channel 29 or?
I think we repeated the last one there. It was Frank Zappa's coming up again.
Yeah, you did.
And Foo Fighters. And I think we're ready. We
1994.
thought we were running out of time, but we're not out of time. We are out of time now.
We kind of
Yeah,
are.
see,
but
We're not
that
five.
see now as I
this is
told
no,
you,
we've done
my
it,
show
so
because we
it's
had our
just repeating,
yes,
we've done it twice.
my show because
copy and
we had a power outage was like being a short order cook. I was
all good.
copying and pasting, and obviously I copied and pasted one time.
Well,
too
maybe
many.
the
sorry.
audience didn't hear all the beginning, and you thought
That's
maybe
it.
that you
Now
wanted to
play-
repeat it.
No, we're not repeating that.
No,
again.
I said
Oh.
maybe you
recap
thought
it.
they want
Yes.
to.
Recap it.
I didn't say we were going to.
Let's talk a little bit about our radio and the fact that Radio GTA is a sponsor this week, Canada's Mix. We have national weather every hour, national news headlines with myself and a young lady by the name of Mandy Bassant, who will be the anchor for the weekend. I'll bring her in here. And Mandy will be our
join
newscaster
us.
on all of our stations this weekend instead of me, because everybody's so sick and tired of me reading the news. It's like, oh,
Well,
take a
I
night
know
off,
I am.
will you? Will you stop
Yeah,
telling me
we
about?
need some young life in here.
Well, we do, and she's far more attractive than I am, as you can tell. So Mandy is a new member of our team here, as we wander through life, trying to make things better for our community and our world. Right?
Absolutely.
That's what
And
we
we're
do here.
growing, so
And
Right.
community is driven by community worldwide, right? Is that what I'm supposed to say? See, I remember.
creating community worldwide.
See, there you go, right there.
There
We've
go.
got a
He needs us-
Boats and hose. Boats and hose.
We appreciate all of
Oh boy.
the wonderful comments we get on our programming, both radio and online. And
Yes, definitely.
remember, we put as much work into our social media, Facebook slash whatever. As we put as much work into that as we do our radio.
Yeah.
Because not only we want it to look purty, we want it to, we want to inform you and have fun with you on social media as well as on the radio. That's what it's all
bird in
about.
mouth, you liar.
And don't forget, we're on our YouTube channel. Right, we got a YouTube channel. You wanna tell
Absolutely.
people
Follow
about
us
the
and
YouTube
like us
channel?
and all
Go
that
to our
on there.
website and everything's there. It'll direct you
there.
wherever you need to go.
Halton Hills Online, and then you'll go to the top and you'll see FM 108, Radio GTA, Halton Hills Online, all of our radio stations, and we have links to everything else we do on the video. How many videos have we done now?
Oh, good Lord. You know what? Enough that I have a 1 terabyte drive completely full of videos for over almost 3 years.
She had to go out and buy a new hard drive to
I did.
cover all our videos.
So, and that's because you guys keep following
I
us
did.
and
I just
watching
did.
our videos, telling your friends about it. We hope you had a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun, as you can tell, doing this. Our Loosey Goosey style is just makes it so much more enjoyable, I think.
Are you getting hot, baby?
So
Oh, yeah, I was hot half an hour ago.
Yeah. So for Big Daddy,
Should've let me
Mandy, So for Big Daddy, Mandy, Leah, myself, have a great week, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you on the B-side.
Mwah. Have a great week.
Oh, perfection! I'll tell you. I think I deserve. They're stuck together again.
It's hot. What do you
Yeah.
expect?
There you go.
It's like glue.
What are these things called again?
Peeps.
Peeps.
When I was a kid,
not
I
gonna be
could,
the only one.
I
Everybody
could eat
grab a
like
Peeps.
2 boxes of them, just sit and eat them.
Couldn't tell you the last time I had one.
Oh, freaking hell, man.
It's
In
like-
between you two, what's up with this?